Yeah, not over my house. My wife's not going to be too pleased about that.
All right.
I told her we were going to get some rain earlier, and thing went to the north. So
Okay.
might be sleep on the couch.
It happens.
Let's show you what's going on. We got our camera. We're looking toward the east here, and we've seen some lightning strikes, and there's one right there. And downtowners and Southsiders, this one's going to sting a little bit. You can see the path of that heavy cell that went from Rockville into Brownsburg, Zionsville, and some areas there in northern Hancock County with that storm right there. Picked up a quick 2 to locally 3 inches of rain. That is drifting toward the east, heading into Newcastle. In fact, they're getting downpours right now, and eventually if that holds together, it gets over into Richmond. And we have additional locally heavy pockets of rain. Unfortunately, not every yard is going to get hit, but it's certainly a little more coverage than we had yesterday. Temperatures, we are in the upper 70s now, and dew points that are in the 70s. That is the air that you can wear, and it is going to feed some of these storms. We'll still have some rumbles going through tonight, and I think even tomorrow morning we will likely have some showers around. If you're not a big fan of this sweaty air, relief on the way.
Oh, that's good.
And I would argue that picture perfect weather
Really?
on the way.
Yeah.
We'll have it in the 7-day. Some really nice stuff coming down the pike.
We gotta hang in
But
there.
we have to sweat it out first to get to it.
Bring it on, Sean. Bring it
got
on.
it.
You were in Las Vegas last weekend. How did that dry desert air compare to the hot, humid?
It's all hot. It's all hard to breathe. I was out of breath. And isn't it like a elevation a little higher there?
Yes,
I was like, I don't know why I'm out of breath. I'm out of breath there. I'm out of breath here.
The heat will do that to you.
It happens.
All right, we're going to get back to Sean in just a moment, find out a little bit more about the 7-day forecast. Felicia and I do want to talk to you about some of the stories that we're going to be covering tonight at 11, including what is happening at the Mar-a-Lago resort. Former President Donald Trump calling it a raid. Right now, we are looking at video. Want to show you some video. President Trump was in New York at Trump Tower, according to CNN. But here is what the former president had to say tonight about what is happening at Mar-a-Lago Resort. So let's go ahead and put that up on the screen. This unannounced raid on my house was not necessary or appropriate. They even broke into my safe. So the former president there talking about what had happened at Mar-a-Lago tonight. An Associated Press source saying this FBI search at Mar-a-Lago was related to whether or not the former president took classified information out of the White House. We don't know if this is related to the January 6th commission, so we're just continuing to wait to find out what the Justice Department and FBI may be saying, but they're not saying anything right now.
Yes, if he took information, and then if he did, what happened to the information? Was it handled in a classified manner? These are the questions. So there are still so many questions, but regardless, I mean, look at the historical impact of what is happening right now. I don't know when, if ever, this has happened to a president, a former president. So this is pretty big news.
It is big news, and we're going to be covering this tonight on 13 News at 11. Let us know what your thoughts are after hearing about what is underway at Mar-a-Lago tonight. Go ahead and put that in the comments section. We'll go ahead and read some of your comments coming up in a moment. We do want to also turn our attention to Olivia Newton-John tonight. The sad news coming this afternoon that Olivia Newton-John, the star of Grease, beautiful Australian actress and singer who's known for so many hits during the 70s and 80s, died today at the age of 73. Olivia Newton-John was here in Indianapolis a couple of times. She was here back in 2014 for the Indianapolis 500 Festival Mini Marathon. She went to the Indianapolis 500 at least one time that I'm aware of, and today dying and in California at her ranch. Her family was by her side, but let us know some of what you thought about the movie Grease, and the songs that she sang. Did you have a favorite? I mean, she just was so
You're the one that I want.
Oh my gosh.
I love Grease. I've practiced, Scott. I love Grease. You know, I love musicals, but when you think about how many generations have been impacted by just that work alone, it's really exciting. I mean, generations have been able to take in that talent.
My gosh, I mean, when that came out, you know, I think there were so many people that loved that music, and it still holds up today, doesn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, that music is great. So let us know if you've got a favorite Olivia Newton-John song tonight. Let us know there in the comment section. All right, one of the other things that Felicia and I thought it would be kind of fun to talk, and let's bring Sean back into the conversation to talk about this. What are some of the things that are normal now in the year 2022 that back in the day you would never think would ever be normal?
Yeah, everything.
Feels like
everything. I mean, look at just the last 2 years when we're talking about all our virtual meetings and all of our mask wearing and all the fights at the grocery store.
Yeah, and on airplanes and all that kind of stuff. So BuzzFeed had this interesting article about things that are totally normal in 2022 but didn't fly back in the day. So this, again, was something that we found on BuzzFeed. Thought it'd be fun to talk about it with you. So we want to go ahead and put a couple of statements on the screen. The first one is, no one expected to reach you at any time 24/7. I miss those days.
Well, I think we all miss those days. My generation is the last generation that ended up growing up with no cell phones, and the phones that we did have at that time, for me in my teenage years, they didn't do as much as they do now. It was an actual
You could
phone.
actually talk to someone without texting.
Yeah, maybe you had a T9 text, but it wasn't a whole conversation like we are now.
Well, I think, you know, look, I mean, our parents would go to work and they'd do the 9 to 5. And then they would be off, right?
Yeah.
Their boss wasn't texting and calling off
Emails.
emails. I mean, it just never ends, right?
This meme, it was so funny. It said, man, we really used to call our mom's job, ask for them by their last name, and ask them, can we get the ice cream out the refrigerator?
Or, you know, calling a friend's house and, you know, their parents picked up and you actually had to, you know, you had to socialize and have a conversation.
Yeah.
Or calling and getting a busy signal.
Yes.
Like whoever gets a busy signal now.
What's that, Scott?
Exactly. All right, let's go ahead and put another one up here on the screen. This is something, obviously, that is normal today that was not normal back in the day, using the internet and the phone at the same time. I mean, obviously, when we were kids, that
Hear
didn't
that
Oh,
happen.
dial-up sound.
Yeah. All right, kids today probably wouldn't even know what that was.
Yeah. I mean, a landline phone. Who has a landline phone anymore? Anybody?
My mom does.
Does your mom?
She does.
Okay.
She does. And it is really handy when like the power goes out or something like that. So we still got the house number, the same phone number.
Is the receiver still connected to the phone?
It is. There's this little wire thing that kind of spirals and connects this apparatus that you put to your ear and speak into. And then it hangs.
I've got another one for you. So again, this is something that's normal today that wasn't back in the day, calling my friends' parents by their first name. Still to this day.
Don't do it.
I mean, there are, I mean, it's a hard thing for me to call my friends' parents by their first name.
I don't think you should. Yeah. Even if I feel like it's a casual situation, which I think most people are a little relaxed these days, I still am going to be like, oh, Mr. Scott and Mr. Sean. I'll throw a little Mr. in there. My mom, both my parents from Tennessee, so there's like a bit of a Southern influence there. And it's always safe when in doubt. Put that Mr.
and
on
that's, you know, that's with our kids. That's what we, you know.
I like that.
Miss Jody, whoever we're talking about, that's what we do.
It's a respect and manners.
I mean, that's how it's brought up. You know, yes, ma'am, no, ma'am.
Right.
You know, and to this day, I say it. You know, I'm kind of like you. I can't. I'm never going to break that habit at all.
But from a kid's perspective, I feel like you want to over-teach formality because you can always dial it back.
Sure.
You know,
Yeah,
but if
good
you
point.
teach kids the right way first, and then society, you know, they'll be able to get in where they fit in with society.
All right, so here's another thing that, of course, today is a normal thing, but back in the day was certainly not a normal thing. Ripped jeans growing up, it was a sign of being poor and not allowed.
This is one thing, I threw this in here because my mom, she's not having it. She could not believe that we go and spend, you know, depending on your budget, 20, 30, 40, 50. Some people spend hundreds of dollars on blue jeans, and this is against my mother's morals.
Yeah. You ever bought a pair of ripped jeans?
I don't think so. No, I've had some, but I didn't buy them that way.
Okay, they just still worn out over the years.
So I can see like a little casual knee slit, but it's the ones where the whole leg is missing, and it's in. I'm never buying that.
Doesn't make any sense. All right, and our final one. Again, this is something that's normal today that wasn't normal back in the day. Spent my whole life being taught to never get in a stranger's personal
Yes.
car. Now we have a whole business model built around it.
Yes.
Ride-sharing services is what we're talking about. You love this one, didn't you?
I
Felicia?
cannot believe it. I get into a stranger's car. The cleanliness is questionable depending on
Sure,
whose car.
sometimes.
And I ask them to drive me around. It's the exact opposite of everything that you're talking. We just ran a story today that said, don't get into strangers' cars for kids.
Right, right.
And now we do that without a blink of an eye. And there have been some unfortunate news stories, but we get in and we don't think twice.
All right, so let's go ahead and hear what our friends are saying tonight along the social media platforms. Let's see. KT saying you had to buy your jeans if you wanted them ripped. Let's see.
You had to buy them and then rip them. He means.
Yep. Let's see. We've got Joyce saying, I think it's crazy to go out and buy ripped jeans. So the jeans is, Tanya saying, I use my desktop and the Google app.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so let's see as I'm going to a few other ones. Karen saying landline phones are great when you can't find your cell phone.
Because then you got to call. That's why my mom kept the cell, kept both lines.
Breyer says, stop telling me that I'm old. LOL. That's how we're feeling today.
Yeah, right. Can I say about the landline phone? Yeah. I feel like having a child, though, I need to have a landline. So you have younger children. What do you think? Well, and your kids aren't that old either. What do you think?
My kids are in their late 20s. So
yeah, but you had them around cell phones, and so.
I mean, we had a landline for a while. I mean, it's been years though since we've had one.
Okay.
But I think, in an emergency, I think it's a great, in an emergency, it is a great idea.
Yeah.
Because think about all the security features on here. They need a passcode. They need to scan your face.
And we're holding off, by the way, on cell phones as long as we can.
Are you?
We're going to try.
I think a lot of parents with your children's ages are doing the same thing.
Yeah, we're going to. If I can make it to 8th or 9th grade or high school, I'd be thrilled.
See, they're saying they're getting them. Well, not only do a lot of schools require laptops and electronic devices. I mean, we're getting into a whole nother topic.
Sure.
I mean, hey, we got time. Weigh in on that. When do you think kids should have cell phones?
Yeah, what age?
But they're using it for school, and you almost need it depending on what school you go to and how affluent it is.
Right.
But it's like again. The phone part is not the issue. It's more so the internet.
Yeah, that, and I mean, and social media on the phone. So we're going to take baby steps when we ever get to the phone, and I'm going to do my best to keep them off social media as long as I can.
Yeah, there
How old
you
is
go.
your oldest?
11.
11. So he's getting right around that age when you
She has friends that they have phones. You know? And then, look, it's every parent. That's it's their decision. Absolutely. And so, but when she sees it, when she sees it, she's asking us like, hey, and we're just like, never know.
Do have some folks talking about Olivia Newton-John tonight. Cindy saying such a lovely soul we lost today. Prayers for her family. We had somebody say, I Honestly Love You was my favorite by Olivia Newton-John. That's from Dixie tonight. And we had somebody who said, Elizabeth said, Hopelessly Devoted to You. That was great.
Yep. My brother had those 45s, man. He was playing those bad boys back then.
Yeah, that was something.
That was cute. Was that the one when they had the sleepover? And they were singing. Oh, okay. Sorry, I'm asking everyone to go back into the file system.
Our friends
I'll Google it.
They'll remember it.
I'll Google it.
All right. So our wake-up weather tomorrow.
Yeah, I think we're still going to have some showers around. Might even have a few rumbles of thunder. Most of the action, the greatest coverage, is probably going to be happening between now and say a little after midnight. It is still going to be humid tomorrow. Not as oppressive, but still muggy. Hang in there. Join us at 11. You're going to love the 7-day.
Beautiful. Can't wait. All right.
Hang in there.
All right. So our news gets going in 45 minutes over on Channel 13. Thanks so much for joining us along our social media platforms. We'll see you tonight at 11 on 13 News.
Hang in there.
You can do it.